my fellow human beings, and welcome to episode 148 of The Best Blessed Life. I'm your best host, Kristen, and today's topic is, oh honey, do Ukrainian cakes taste amazing? Before we get started, I want to thank you all for watching. Please continue to watch, comment, share, like, subscribe, ring that bell, and please pass them on to anyone you think they would help. With that being said, here's our list of things to do today, if you can see it that far away. So we're going to do daily compliments. I've been gone a long time, so I'm not going to do that many. We're going to talk about a reading recipe because we're doing cookbook and first look about Stone Mothers by Erin Kelly, and that's why we're making these Ukrainian honey cakes. Now, I looked it up and it said that these were listed in the book, but then when I went to go and find the page it was on, it wasn't there. So take that with what you will. And that's what we're making today, Ukrainian honey cakes. So, yeah. I'm a little discombobulated because I haven't done this for over a month. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But I had lots of stuff to do to, yeah. I had lots of stuff to do. Sorry, bear with me for 1 second here. I'm probably just going to do the last couple weeks. So I'm going to start with, let's see here. I don't know. I'm just going to pick a random date. We'll start with the 10th of June. You are so patient no matter how busy you are. The 11th, I took a break. The 12th, I love your out-of-the-box thinking. 13th, you're so productive, I have no idea how you do so much. The 14th, I admire your drive and dedication. 15th, you have a warm smile. 16th, another day of rest, apparently. 17th, you are a really kind person. 18th, I really respect how you stand up for what you believe in. The 19th, you are really trustworthy. The 20th, you are a great communicator. The 21st, I appreciate how open-minded you are. The 22nd, you have an interesting perspective on life. 23rd, you are a fast learner. 24th, that color looks great on you. 25th, I know you can do anything you set your mind to. 26th, I really admire how you handle difficult situations. 27th, you tell amazing stories. 28th, you make everyone feel special. 29th, you're so resilient, it's inspiring. The 30th, you're so unique, there's no one quite like you. The 1st, you always have something nice to say about everyone. The 2nd, I love how you try new things. And today, you have a really soothing voice. Ha ha ha. Hopefully I do. Sorry. Okay. So we're going to go over the book, but I thought I'd go over the recipe first and start mixing things while I'm talking about the book. Maybe I'll talk about other stuff first. So it's 3 eggs, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup vegetable oil, 1 cup honey, 1 cup sour cream, and I didn't use sour cream, I used Greek yogurt, 2.5 cups flour, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1¼ teaspoons of cinnamon, that's what I used. Typically you're supposed to use 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, a ½ teaspoon of clove, and a ¼ teaspoon of allspice, but I didn't have allspice, I don't think I care for allspice. So what I did was I put the extra ¼ teaspoon of cinnamon in there instead. And then teaspoon of vanilla. And then optionally you can use chopped nuts and powdered sugar. So I'll get to that part later. And then you're going to spray and flour your pan. And I'm using an aluminum foil one because I used my glass 9x13 that I've had for over 30 years. And as I was shaking the flour through over the sink, thank goodness, it slipped out of my hand and broke into a bazillion pieces. So I no longer have that pan. I'm a little salty about it, can you tell? Okay, So I want to get started on the recipe a little bit. And what we're going to work with first is we're going to be doing the 3 eggs and the sugar. And that's all it said. It didn't say the honey. It just said the sugar. So, and I'm using wildflower honey. There were several different recipes for this honey cake. I went with, it said traditional Ukrainian honey cake. So this is where that one came from. I saw a couple other ones that had what's called buckwheat honey, which I obviously didn't have. And this recipe called for the actual wildflower honey that I have. So we're just going to blend this up real quick. She says to make it thick. I don't know exactly what that means, but we'll get it blended up here. It's not going to take too long to get it thickened up. Just trying to break up some of the brown sugar clumps. This is interesting too. I just realized there's no like granulated sugar in here, which I don't know why it took me that long, but okay. So then the next part will be, we're adding the oil. And yes, I'm using oil this time. I would probably next time, depending on, you know, how this goes and if I like it or not, I would use probably melted butter maybe. I don't know. So that was 1 cup of vegetable oil. I just wanted to make sure that's what. There's a lot of 1 cups in here. So that was the vegetable oil. And then I also need to add the honey. Hopefully it'll come out. No, it's going to be a stinker. Now, you know honey gets crystallized and stuff, but it's still good. So that is what I am dealing with here, is my honey got pretty well, you know, crystallized. But according to what I've read, honey does not go bad. Like there's something in it. I even read something about there being this 3,000-year-old honey that somebody was using. I don't know how you know how old it is, but hey, whatever. I want to read you the synopsis from the book before I get started on the actual telling of the story. So give me a minute. And then I'm going to go over my new book that we've been reading. I know it doesn't seem like I've been reading a lot, but I have. I just haven't posted much about it because we were stuck on one book for like a really long time. I'm going to add this Greek yogurt here in a minute. I just want to kind of get this honey working through here a little bit. Just so it's not all stiff and, you know, like it. I'm hoping the crystallization will kind of work through and not cause issues with how it bakes and stuff. Haha, she says. Okay, and then this is 1 cup of Greek yogurt. I know I have a big container, but that's how much I have left in there, ironically enough. So, I did have a little bit of sour cream, but I figured, you know, let's try and make it a little bit healthier. At least we're getting a little protein from the Greek yogurt. Sorry, I have my back to you right this second. Oh, man. I just got it on the thing. Okay. We'll plop that in there. You need everything. Okay. All right. And then how long am I mixing this for? Just as beat well. Okay. So that's what we're doing. I'm just trying to incorporate everything together. All right. It's splashing everywhere. Hope everybody has some fun 4th of July plans this weekend. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break here real quick so I can read you the synopsis of the book. Okay, so Stone Mothers, Erin Kelly. And it says, Marianne was 17 when she fled her home in Newstead, leaving behind her family, her boyfriend Jesse, and the body they buried. Now, 30 years later, forced to return in order to help care for her sick mother, she can feel the past closing in around her. And Jesse, who never forgave her for leaving in the first place, is finally threatening to expose the truth. Marianne will do anything to protect the life she's built, the husband and daughter who must never know what happened all those years ago, even if it means turning to your worst enemy for help. But Marianne may not know the whole story, and she isn't the only one with secrets they'd kill to keep. I would say that this book, I'm trying to remember, I read it quite a bit ago, but I don't know, there's something about it that led me to believe they weren't going to be in as much trouble as they really were thinking they were going to be. Like they were making like a big deal out of nothing. But I also felt it was really well written. I liked I felt the feelings of liking or disliking a character like Jesse, you know? So there was things about that bothered me, that he was so adamant about exposing her to her family and stuff. So I don't know. It was just something about it that I felt could have been, I don't know what the word is, a little bit better described, I think. But overall, I liked the characters or disliked the characters based on what I was supposed to feel about them. It's very well written. Okay, so what I did, sorry, just to interrupt real quick, is they wanted all the dry ingredients together, including the spices. So what I just dumped in there was our cinnamon and clove. And if you're using allspice, obviously allspice. I want to thank Emily for my beautiful dew. Whether it's cooperating today or not is another story. But, so what is it that you guys look for in a book? I'm just trying to get an idea of how people pick books, because this particular book club, we pick it based on the fact that it is a free book, and we're trying not to judge a book by its cover. You know, so I grab quite a bit of the books from like those lending libraries. I don't know if people around the country have those, but I get them from there. My library also puts free books down in their lobby that you can take. So that's mainly where I've been getting them from. And if y'all want one of the books that I've read and want me to send it to you, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to send you any of the books that we've read. Some of them are packed up, but can easily be shipped to wherever. And maybe you'll get a sample of whatever I've made based on that book. You never know. Okay, so we now are gradually adding our dry ingredients to our wet. So we're just going to do a little bit at a time here. When am I supposed to add the vanilla? Was I supposed to do that already? Oh, no, after I do this part. Really? Oh, yeah, I was supposed to. Wait, huh? Gradually add to liquid, then add vanilla? Okay, whatever. That's unusual, I think. Like, why am I adding the dry ingredients before I add the vanilla? It's a liquid. Oh, this smells really good, you guys. Now that we've added the cinnamon. Oh, wow. Yummy, yummy. All right, and just remember that the chopped nuts and the powdered sugar are for decorating afterwards. after the cake. Well, actually the nuts go on top after we put the after we put the batter into the pan. Okay, so it's based on this back to the book. So it's based on this mental institution that closed in their community and destroyed people's jobs, that closed down, and lots of people were out of work. Like that whole town just essentially like lost everything because of the institution closing down. And so I think a lot of people were just, and then of course finding the dead body. I just think a lot of people were blaming so many other people for what was happening and why everybody was essentially broke. It was a very poor town. And this woman who was coming back was in a good place. Her husband made really good money. She makes really good money. So I think there was a saltiness there based on her relationship with her ex-boyfriend. And honestly, she left under like she didn't really tell him she wasn't coming back. So he's salty about that too. All right, guys, I think it's pretty well mixed. It's a nice batter. Let me taste a little bit. Ooh. Ooh. Wow. I am liking that. Okay. There we go. Now we get to pour this bad boy into the pan. So I'm coming over by you guys. I'm going to pour her in here. Let's put it here. Look at that. It's a beauty. You know what is really making it stand out and bringing out the flavors of the cinnamon is the honey. These are a lot of like Greek flavors to me. The honey and the cinnamon, and then also we're adding nuts. And I decided to play up on that Greek theme, as I'm a bit of a Greek girl, by adding the chopped walnuts on the top. Okay, so there we go. And I'm imagining that they'll kind of sink into the cake as it's baking. So I'm hoping it'll kind of mix in there throughout. And I don't know how many nuts I'm going to use, because it just says chopped nuts are optional. So I'm hoping I don't need this whole bag, and if I could ever get it open. And I just kind of want to chop them up a little bit more, because they're pretty big chopped. Okay, so that is Stone Mothers. That is a really good book. I highly recommend. Like I said, it was a while ago since I read it, but it's a good read. I think the way she writes is what is going to grab you. And the characters you're not supposed to like, you actually don't like. That's a good book. When she can write it so that you hate the character like you're supposed to, that's a good book. If that makes any sense. All right. Get these all crushed up. While I'm doing that, I'm going to talk about the pumpkin cobbler, crockpot cobbler was amazing. All right, let's see. Are they going to be small enough? Okay, just kind of sprinkling it over the top is what she said. Yeah, this is probably going to be enough. All right, we're going to get this in the oven. This is going to bake at, oh shoot. It's not going to bake at all because I haven't started the oven. Oh boy. All right, so it's going to bake at, I'm going to chop them a little more, 350 for 35 to 45 minutes. And she said that you can check it with a toothpick, which we all know doesn't always necessarily work out that great. No extra charge for the dog here. But she also gives a description, which I appreciate, is that when you touch the top of the cake, if it doesn't leave like a dimple and it springs back a little bit, then you know it's done. Which is kind of how I've judged cakes in the past, because toothpicks aren't always the best indicator. I'm going to do a little bit more real quick here. Just a little bit. I see a little section there. And I just think the walnuts will go so nicely with the honey. I'm thinking baklava in my head, you know? Is one of my favorite desserts. We made baklava cups long time ago on this show. All right, and I always keep my nuts in the freezer. It protects the oils so they don't go rancid. Okay, I can't stick that in there yet. So let me go over, I can't believe I forgot that. Okay, so let me go over some things you can do with this cake as well, because you can turn it into a torte. She said you can either use a 13 by 9 inch pan, which is what she uses. You can potentially cook this cake in 2 loaf pans, 9 by 5, okay? And then what she says is you can turn it into a torte, which is cutting it in 3 layers horizontally. And then you decorate each layer with a different flavoring. So the first layer she's saying is buttercream, and then you flavor the second layer, make it a Bailey's Irish caramel cream liqueur frosting, and top that with a chocolate ganache. And then the next layer is a chocolate icing with rum. And then you top that with chocolate ganache too. So yeah, you could easily make this a very like high class dessert, but she says she makes it in 13 by 9 every time. So we're gonna go with that. Okay, but our next book is, well, let me see if I can get it where it's not. Maiden Voyage by Graham Masterton. Sorry, you can tell I got it from a library because it still has like all the library stuff on it. Park Forest Public Library. I tried to get the sticker off before and it didn't come off. Okay, so this is the book that was taking us forever. Well, first of all, I'm babysitting a lot more, so I don't get to read as much. But this book is about, I'm going to read you the synopsis. It's called Maiden Voyage, and the year is 1924. The time of J. Gatsby, the Black Bottom Deco, and Daimler's Prosperity, and Silent Cal Coolidge, jazz babies and debutantes. And it was the year that the SS Arcadia, flagship of Key Shipping Line Limited, and the greatest liner ever to touch keel to saltwater, was to make its maiden voyage from Liverpool to New York. On board were Douglas Fairbanks and Mary Pickford, Jack Dempsey, 250 pounds of molossil caviar, 18 varieties of champagne, 2,000 pounds, money-wise, chow, named Chunum Brillantine. It's a 2,000 pound, like, you know, that's the currency in England, dog. I don't even remember them talking about that. So, and young Catriona Keyes, heiress of Key Shipping after her father's recent death. Thrust suddenly from her comfortable London life into the role of flapper of the seas, Catriona learns that in addition to the large fortune, she has also become the inheritor of a tremendous task. The success or failure of Key Shipping, the company advisors tell her, rests on the Arcadia's maiden voyage and on Catriona's own shoulders. Against the opulent, decadent backdrop of a magnificent ocean liner, Graham Masterton has painted a compelling canvas of whirlwind affairs, elegant balls, high finance intrigue, and treachery that will delight and amaze all readers who sail the Arcadia. Let me tell you about this ship. A lot of shit goes down. Excuse my language. A lot of crap goes down. And there's so many crazy things that happen. There are people trying to commit suicide. And there are people that get hurt by this very ship. People outside the ship. I don't want to give too much away because I really want you to read this book. It is full of sex in 1924. And financial issues. And this woman, this Catriona Key, she's only 21. Her father dies just before the maiden voyage. And they want her to represent the Key shipping line because it was her father's company, you know? And she wasn't really getting along with her father too well. He didn't approve of her lifestyle because she was a flapper. She, okay, so she did have sexual relations with men, and that was part of the reason why her father wasn't particularly keen about, you know, how she was living her life and what she was doing. And I think that there was this kind of misunderstanding between her father, you know, not understanding her, and her not really understanding where her father was coming from because she was just living her life, you know, and back then she didn't want to be, you know, going by all the societal norms of the day, which was, you know, you waited till you got married to have sex, and you didn't, you know, traipse around with a bunch of different men. So there was that, and then there was also the issue with what was happening with her father's shipping company. You know, I don't want to give too much away again, but there was issues, there was problems, there was shortcomings, there was financial, yeah. They were pulling some stunts that they probably shouldn't have been doing, you know, legally speaking. So take a look at it. Check it out. It is an excellent book. I really like the way it's written. It's super duper long. Let me see how many pages there are. Let me tell you. There are, and it literally goes to the end, 470 pages. And it's not like, I mean, it's like small words. So it's not like even, let me see if you can see how small they are. Like, there's a lot on every page. So it did take a while. But it was also frustrating. There was something that happened to Catriona on the ship that just kind of got glossed over. And it was very kind of disturbing to me. And then I wonder, like, I see why women have such an issue with dealing with sex and men, and problems of today are just as prevalent as back then. In fact, probably more so back then because men felt entitled to do things. I'll just go with that. So, yeah, it's a really good book. Check it out. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to let this bad boy cook up, and I'll get back to you. No! Oh, my gosh. I forgot to put in the vanilla. Oh my gosh. Just realized this now. I don't know how this is going to work. I really don't. Oh my gosh. How am I going to get the vanilla in here? I don't know. Because all my nuts are in here. I guess I'm just going to, oh my gosh. What do I do? Oh my gosh. I see it sitting here. Why didn't I think I grabbed it? Do I just do it without it? Let's see how it tastes. Oh man. I can't do it now. It just would not. It really sucks. How did I not look at that and see that I hadn't put it in yet? Oh well. All right, so when you do it, see, that's why I would put it in with the liquid. Like, I was done with the dry ingredients. It just, wow. Okay, well, don't do what I just did. I'm not starting over, guys. I can't. Okay, so I'm going to put you on pause. I'll be back in a little bit. Fingers crossed that without the vanilla, it still tastes yummy. I tasted it. It just tastes so cinnamony and yummy and warm and delicious. So, bear with me. All right, guys. Time will tell. It smells amazing, even without the freaking vanilla. I'm so mad at her. I should have just gone with my gut and put it in with the liquid. If I have not learned anything from this show, that should be it, right? Like, I should know that. Grr. Anyway, sorry. I just needed to vent for a second. I'm back. And honestly, oh no, it's not even close to being done. She said it should spring back. Well, the sides spring back, but the middle is still gooey. Yeah, it's still jiggling big time. Oh my gosh. It didn't even dawn on me to check the center. I know that sounds weird, but like I pushed on the edge and it bounced back like she said it should. And this is one of those times I should have gone with my gut and used the damn toothpick. Grr. All right. Well, guess what? I'll be back. Everybody, it's finally done. Woohoo! I'm just going to show it to you and then I'm going to just stick it back in here just to let it. I know I'm supposed to let it cool on them. Look at that bad boy. Isn't she a beauty? She got so dark. It just smells so good. Okay, I'm gonna pick the dog hair off the top first. There we go. All right. I kind of want to let her cool in the oven with it off. I know that's not part of the instructions, but I'm being cautious. What can I tell you? All right, so we're going to let that cool for 10 minutes in the pan once I take it out. And then you take it out of the pan and let it cool for like another 10 minutes. And then I'm going to sprinkle it with the powdered sugar. Cool? Okay, make sure you're following me on Facebook at Kristen Haas, spelled here. And then on Instagram at The Best Blessed Life. And also on Twitter at The Best Blessed Life. The I in life replaced by 1. And I'm also on TikTok, also at The Best Blessed Life, I believe. So make sure you check those out. I'm going to share the delicious results later today, once it has cooled and done its thing. And then I've decorated it. I'll take some pictures. Cool? Well, I'm glad I'm back. That was gone over a month. I can't believe it. So I'm happy to be back. You know, glitches and all. And I am coming towards the end of year 5. I can't believe it. So make sure you comment on this video. Let me know what you'd like to see me make as the final episode for this year. And yeah. Oh my God, year 6 is coming. I can't believe it. I love doing this for y'all. I always make these recipes for y'all for the very first time. So I've never made this. Anything I've made, if I've made anything before on the show, it's probably maybe a handful of things. So I really enjoy this. Is a good way to learn about different cultures, different recipe ideas, different combinations of things, different techniques, different everything. I've learned so many different things. It's like getting a culinary lesson every time I'm with you guys. So I love that about this show, and I will continue to bring it. All right. And with that, I just want to say I hope you have a good day. Go do great things. Be your best self. And please live your best blessed life.